So my name is Joseph. I'm the Managing Director of the Great Ocean Road Wildlife Park. We're basically working towards self-sustaining, harmonizing with nature, making use of natural energy with the intention that if we're going to prolong our stay on the planet Earth, we need to come to terms with how to harmonize with nature and work with her and not try to control her. That's what we're trying to do here. It's more a personal, private enterprise that we were doing for our own personal selves, for our own family, and then we decided to use this as an opportunity to make a business of it in order to share some of the things that we learn about natural sustainability, which we feel is ultimately important. It's a good question. Put it this way: when my kids were growing up in Melbourne, and within the society, we felt that what they were extracting, what they were learning socially, was very destructive, actually, and not leading towards a healthy discovery of the self. And I became really concerned, especially when I saw my kids were coming back, or some of them anyway, with sort of defiance and lack of morality or lack of certain ethics. I saw that it was being as an influence coming from the outside, and me and my wife decided that for the sake of our family, for the sake of our education to our children, we wanted to come and do something more natural, involving ourselves with nature, which we felt would be a better opportunity for them to develop their own inner self and to discover who they personally are. And so we did this. It started about 9 years ago, and I have to say, as far as I'm concerned, we made the right choices. All my kids have actually learned to come to discover who they are and stand on their own feet and look out of their own eyes, and that's exactly what we're trying to give our kids. And I think that as a society, that's where we have to come to, independently as individuals and collectively as a society. Yeah. Planet, I love the planet. I think the planet's it's an awesome host for humanity and for life. I don't think that humanity is really recognizing what we really need to do as participants and guardians of the planet, really. I think we've got a lot to learn, and if we don't learn it, honestly, I'm very concerned that we're going to drive ourselves into a corner that we're not going to get out of. It's already in the process. I think we've already set something negative in motion by just focusing on our own personal needs, our own greed, to satisfy our own selves, rather than saying, who are we as humans? What's really our function? What's our role as humans on the planet, as human beings in the earth? What's really our function? And we're sort of deflecting from that. We're not going down that track. We're going after our own personal needs, and I think we haven't realized that we've gone way off track, and that if we don't get back on track, we're going to bring a lot of irreversible damage to the planet, which we can already see today. The issues, personally, I mean, in terms of the park, you mean? Well, one of the things, look, so many people today are dependent on the system that you really forget who you are and how to behave and how to actually survive naturally in life. So one of the things which was for us really a big eye-opener, I might have known it in theory, but actually when it came to practice, it's something that was quite a hard lesson, and that's to learn that life is alive. And it's changing all the time. You have to live with, I mean, nature, for example, is always presenting different opportunities or different obstacles in our way. And for example, if you're trying to grow vegetables, so you think, okay, you take soil, you put a seed, you put it in, and you give it water every day, it's going to grow. It doesn't work like that. It's like your soil has to be nutrient rich. So where do you get the nutrients from? Okay, you can go to the supermarket, but I don't want to go to supermarkets, so I have to look at my resources. So then I find, okay, the horse manure, that's really good. So in the beginning, the first crop we did, it failed. Nothing grew, and I couldn't understand why. Then I had to look deeper, and then we started to make use of natural resources. And slowly but surely, we learned to come more in tune and harmonize and make use of the recycling a way of life. And that was our biggest struggle, to actually get on top of that. Okay. I mean, even to the point, like, we planted fruit trees, and some of the animals got in there after the trees were probably 2-3 feet high, and they got in by mistake, and they just ate everything, just killed it all. So we had to start all the way back from the beginning again. Now, if you're trying to survive in life on your own, when you've been educated within an environment that's not conducive to harmonizing with nature, and suddenly that's taken away, and you find yourself in a situation where you have to eat, you're going to face all these issues. You might not have enough time to really learn how to do it. So for us, it's been a process of, learning this in advance, trying to find out. Yeah, absolutely. I think everybody makes a difference. I think we don't. I think, in my opinion, it's all about energy. And the most important contribution that anybody can make in the world is not how active you are within the system, but it's how active you are within yourself in terms of your own personal self-discovery. So the deeper you go into yourself, the more you find out who you are, the more your energy is going to vibrate in a positive and a healthier frequency. If the more you stray away from who you truly are, maybe by being distracted by the social pools, the lower becomes your frequency and the less effect you're going to have. But essentially, it boils down to the individual. I think everybody makes a difference, and I don't think anybody should ever think that they don't. It's not about numbers anymore. It's actually about energy. If you change your energy, the whole system changes. Well, what it made to the country, well, the country, to be honest, sadly to say, basically what I'm saying is sadly to say, the country has neglected its true ecological responsibilities. It's made a large focus on the farming industry. They've done tremendous destruction within the system. I think 55% of the mainland of Australia is dedicated farming lands, and I think that has had a terrible impact on the ecological system in itself, because they pulled down forests, they just cleaned everything up. It was very destructive in the whole ecosystem. Today the system is collapsing because of these moves. I mean, there's other issues that have also caused this collapse, but I think the fires are a product of serious ecological neglect. I'm not saying, just for the records, I'm not saying that Australia is neglecting their responsibilities. I just don't think that they understand what the responsibility really is and how to really deal with it. And that's the problem. If people would look inwardly, they would know how to deal outwardly with the system. But if people aren't looking inwardly, they're not going to know how to look out. And this is actually a product of not looking inward. I think the fires indirectly are almost directly a cause of man's lack of awareness of what we're supposed to, how we're supposed to manage this planet properly.